wonder if your brand needs a refresh? Maybe your business has outgrown its brand, or even worse, maybe you've been hit with a legal notice that your brand infringes on someone else's. Whether it is prompted by some operational changes or legal necessity, rebranding is something that every business owner will need to consider at some point in their journey, maybe even multiple points in their business journey. But how do you know when the time is right? And what should you be considering in your rebrand? Let's talk about it. Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I'm Faith Minton, an attorney on a mission to simplify brand protection for business owners and entrepreneurs so that they can better understand their legal rights. On this channel, you'll find tons of easy to understand, practical, and free insight about trademarks to help you get a better sense of how to protect yourself and to stay on the right side of the law. Now today, we are talking about when you should be considering a rebrand, that is, in other words, choosing new trademarks, both from a legal standpoint and a practical standpoint. By the end of this video, you should understand some key considerations so that you can avoid costly mistakes and stay ahead of the curve. First, let's talk about some very important legal factors that can affect your need to rebrand. Imagine that you have poured everything you've got into your business and building out your brand. You've begun to also build some recognition around your business names, your taglines, your logos, the fundamental things that can function as trademarks. And then all of a sudden one day you learn that you can no longer use those trademarks, maybe even with immediate effect. That's a tough pill to swallow, and it can put your entire business at risk. So when might you find yourself in this kind of situation? Let's look at 3 different scenarios. First up, attorney recommendations. After consulting with your attorney or discussing the results of a trademark clearance search, which I talked about in another video, which I will tag here and link to in the comments, you may get some really undesirable feedback. Your attorney might tell you, hey, the trademark that you've chosen probably isn't going to work out because it is very likely to be confused with a similar trademark for related products and services that is owned by a brand owner who has stronger rights than you. And if you move forward with this trademark, you will very likely be committing trademark infringement. Now, please do not get upset with your attorney when they tell you this. They are looking out for you and trying to protect you from trademark disputes, which are very costly. Ignoring this type of advice can leave you wide open to costly disputes and lost investment in your brand. Taking proactive steps to rebrand can save you the time and headache and money that goes into defending yourself against infringement. Second legal scenario where this can come up, let's say you didn't get this kind of heads up from your attorney, either because you didn't have one or because they didn't catch it, or maybe you did get a heads up and you decided to ignore it and move forward anyway. One day you could receive the dreaded cease and desist letter in the mail. Then this isn't just junk mail and you shouldn't toss it. It is a formal legal notice from another brand owner alerting you to the fact that they believe that you are infringing upon their trademark. Now, while this type of letter doesn't mean that you're in a full-blown legal dispute yet, because by this point, in many instances, court filings have not been made, receiving this type of letter is a giant red flag that a dispute is pending and that court filings could be on the way. So these letters are warnings that they may take further action if you do not comply with the demands of their letter. Third legal scenario where this rebrand issue can come up is in an actual court proceeding or legal proceeding. Because if a dispute escalates beyond that first cease and desist letter, that first warning shot, the other party has a legal obligation to continue to protect their brand by doing whatever is legally necessary to stop the infringement. And if you don't comply with the letter, then they have to take it to the courts. So this could be a trademark infringement lawsuit in federal court, which is super scary because federal lawsuits are crazy complicated and very expensive. Or it could be a proceeding in front of a special tribunal known as the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board. The Trademark Trial and Appeal Board's only job is to decide on disputes involving filings with the USPTO. So they don't do everything that a federal court does, but their decisions do have very real consequences for the real world. So they can be equally as scary as being in federal court. But whether you are in federal court or the TTAB, these kinds of disputes can take tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars to resolve if you are litigating fully to the end. Instead of litigating fully to the end to try to fight for a trademark, sometimes the most cost-effective and efficient way to resolve these disputes, if you are the one who is being sued, is to just rebrand and choose a new trademark that isn't going to be infringing on someone else's. But having legal trouble isn't the only reason why you should consider rebranding. Sometimes a rebrand is just about making sure that you stay relevant and making sure that your brand accurately represents the current state of your business. So from a practical perspective, what are some reasons why you should consider rebranding? If your company's mission, values, or services and products have evolved, you may want to change your brand to reflect that. For example, maybe you started as a local business, but now you are expanding nationwide or even internationally. A rebrand can signal that kind of growth and that pivot to your audience. Then there may be times where your brand just loses its emotional connection to your audience. We all know as business owners that emotions in many cases drive sales and drive relationships with other businesses. So if you notice that there is declining engagement from your clients and collaborators, that may be a signal to you that it's time to consider choosing a brand that will resonate more deeply with the folks you're trying to connect to. Another reason to consider rebranding is that you just want to stay competitive. Brands that don't change die. If your competitors are modernizing and you are still stuck with branding that you've been using for over 10 years, it may just be time for you to consider a refresh to update the look and feel of your brand. And even without having major changes occur in your business or without considering what your competitors are doing, periodic refresh can just be a part of your ongoing brand maintenance. And you've seen plenty of massively successful businesses do this. McDonald's, Starbucks, Verizon, all of these companies and more just periodically change their brands, maybe every 5 to 7 years or so, just to keep things fresh. But if you're a new business owner, you might be wondering, well, I just launched not too long ago. Why would I need to consider rebranding from a practical perspective, not a legal one? But here's the thing. Early stage businesses often rush headfirst into choosing branding without fully understanding their audience or their market. So what are some signs that you as the owner of an early stage business should consider a rebrand? First, there may be market misalignment. If your brand doesn't actually fit your target market, you'll figure that out pretty quickly. Maybe your name, tagline, logo, etc. are repelling your ideal clients and customers and attracting people that really aren't suited for your vision for your business. For example, if you're trying to sell a high-ticket item, whether a product or service, but let's say your tagline includes the word affordable or your logo looks like it was really low budget and created in a free software, your branding will fall flat to your ideal customers and clients. Another reason why you might want to rebrand early into your business development is because you've just outgrown the brand that you've chosen. Startups often begin with just a placeholder brand just to get the thing off the ground, and then once the business takes off, they revisit the brand to choose something that's more refined and polished and that better fits their vision. So if you've decided that it's time to rebrand, whether for legal or practical reasons, what should your next steps be? Here's a quick checklist of things that you should consider. Number one, evaluate your current brand. Assess what's working and what isn't. Are there elements of your brand that you want to keep and make incremental changes to your brand? Or are you in need of a full overhaul? Number two, conduct thorough market research. Take time to understand your target market as well as your competition so that you can determine whether your new brand will resonate with your target market and stand out from the competition. This may include doing focus groups or surveys to get feedback or individually reaching out to people in your target audience to see what they have to say about what you're considering. Or you might consider hiring a brand professional to help you figure out what your target audience should look like, what the research says about what these people care about, and then designing a brand that is meant to attract those people. Your personal preference and your budget is really all that matters here. But the one thing you do not want to do is crowdsource feedback online or in the general public, because this leaves you open to having your ideas for your new brand stolen. Trademark rights are based on use, not on who thought of something first. So if someone takes your idea and executes on it first in some way, they may begin to develop trademark rights in that thing before you, and then knock you out from being able to develop that trademark for yourself. Number 3, once you've chosen your new brand identity, whether that is changing the name, tagline, logo, or something else in your business, hire a trademark attorney to help you complete a thorough trademark clearance search. You don't want to risk having to rebrand again because you didn't take the time to find out whether the trademark that you want is available for you to use. So before you take any major steps, be sure to clear it with legal. Number 4, once your attorney clears your trademark, then the next thing that you want to do as soon as possible is file a trademark application, even if you haven't begun using the trademark yet. Because although trademark rights are based on use, you also have the option to file an intent to use application for trademarks that you have not begun using yet. These kinds of applications show your intention to use a trademark in the future, hopefully the near future, and they can be used to help shore up your legal rights before you go public with your new brand. That's because these kinds of applications can block later applications for similar trademarks for later products and services. And because when we are measuring infringement to see who has the strongest rights, we will look to the date of the filing of the intent to use application, not the date of the approval of the trademark registration. So filing an intent to use application basically helps you reserve your place in line before you actually begin using your trademark. And you may even consider filing multiple intent to use applications if there are some different options that you were considering as part of your rebrand. Number 5 is the fun part of the rebrand, the official launch. Your rebrand is a great opportunity for you to reintroduce yourself to your community. Think about hosting events, offering special promotion, or doing content drips to build excitement around the rebrand. But communication is key to ensure that you don't lose clients and customers after your brand changes. Being transparent helps you to maintain the trust that you have built with your clients, customers, and collaborators. So be sure to let your audience know why you're rebranding and what they can expect going forward. And as part of the launch of the new brand, be sure that you officially switch everything over to the new brand. Don't let things fall in the cracks. So what are we talking about here? Your website content, your domain names, your social media handles, business cards, invoices, letterheads, email signatures, storefront signage. I mean everything. A sloppy rebrand where you change some things but not others just creates confusion and can result in lost relationships because people don't know who you are anymore. Now, rebranding can feel like a big undertaking, but if it is done well, the results can be very promising. A rebrand can revitalize your business and keep you competitive. So whether you're dealing with legal problems or you just simply want to improve your brand in some way and update it, the key is to approach the process strategically and thoughtfully. Remember, if you are considering a rebrand, it is important to have a trademark attorney in your corner, because while I discussed some things for you to consider here from the legal perspective, this was just a summary. And like all summaries, a lot has been left unsaid. So be sure to get legal advice for your specific situation if you need it. And that's a wrap. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so the algorithm can do its thing and send it out to more people who might be interested in this topic. And be sure to subscribe to the channel for more trademark content and turn on notifications so you never miss when I post a new video. If you've got thoughts or questions to share, I invite you to put those in the comments. I read and respond to each one personally, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.